Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Season 2 of The Witcher. And to be frank, wasn't the hugest fan of the first season. I thought that it went way too headlong in trying to be different and interesting with its timelines and wound up just being a hot mess that made absolutely no sense like 90% of the time. And every time you didn't have Geralt on screen, I'm just like, but where's The Witcher? And it was the kind of thing where it's just like, I respected it a lot, but I didn't get a ton of enjoyment out of it. I saw that this second season was getting tons of great reviews, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is better. It definitely is. And right off from the first episode, I had such a blast, especially with Tormund from Game of Thrones making an appearance. That first episode was so great and made me so excited for this season. For me personally, I do think the season did peak with that first episode, but it did set up some great relationships and connections, and this season had a lot more action and a lot more monsters, and anytime that was going on with the action and like the monster elements, it was awesome. And putting Henry Cavill at the forefront, just beast moding some monsters, was just an absolute blast. And that really worked for me. I appreciated that the narrative was much more linear and much more focused, even if there was still way too many subplots going on that, something, and this is such a tough comparison because it always goes back to Lord of the Rings. There's so many subplots in Lord of the Rings, but you care. This, I just feel like there's so many subplots with like elves and other humans and witches and sages and people doing magic and like 50 other subplots that it just feels like it's too overdone, takes up too much time. And like these episodes could have easily been more close to 40-45 minutes if you didn't spend so much time bogged down in all this extra stuff that wasn't as interesting. And it sets up so much. People make comments about the end of Return of the King. Well, this has so many, like this, and this, trying to set up the third season. And even like Graham McTavish, who I'm a huge fan of, pops up so sporadically, randomly, and like is set up to be something much bigger in the third season, I guess. But it just feels like a lot of the things were half-baked. And you have these two storylines instead of three main storylines this time, because you have Geralt and Ciri together, which their connection is great. And I love their dynamic of Geralt being this father figure trying to help Ciri become a Witcher. And her training and trying to get prepared for this and her first interactions, all the way up until the finale, where you feel Geralt's connection to her and trying to protect her is one of the most important pieces of the show. And they're so great together. Yennefer, on the other hand, I feel like is a bit wasted. They took away her magic and kind of just laid her out there for most of the season until I felt like the last two episodes where she really felt consequential to what was going on in the show. And I really appreciate the actress who plays Yennefer, but like she just didn't get a whole lot to work with this season. And yet again, it still made me want to just, why can't we just go back to Geralt and enjoy his storylines going on, especially him and Ciri. I appreciated that they introduced a lot more Witchers this time around, and you got a lot more of the connection to who the Witchers are and seeing them in action, which was really cool. Those were definitely some of the better elements of this season. But with all that being said, I'm still excited to see where Season 3 goes, and if they can continue to stay focused and, don't get bogged down in trying to make so many other subplots and narrative threads work and really hone in and focus a bit more, I think this could be a truly great show. I enjoyed this second season quite a bit, but it's still not like at love territory for me. There's definitely episodes I absolutely loved in this season, especially the first one, and probably even the last episode. But, it's getting there for me. But I know a lot of people are digging the show. I'd recommend it. right there on Netflix. But those are my thoughts on Season 2 of The Witcher. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.